So we're looking at the US dollar here, the Dixie, the DXY, and one of the main points here is this, not today, but yesterday, this particular bar that came in here, we'd counted it down as a possible low being in place, and we've got the volume, that nice firm volume here to help confirm that situation. Now, it did come down today, but it came down on lower volume compared to the previous day, so that's sort of divergence in that case. So we're going to see how that bottom holds there, because obviously that will affect other markets such as the US. So when we look at the US here, we've seen a couple of things here. We've seen that this particular market, this particular price bar here, on the 17th here, had increased volume than this one here, and it closed down. It had a closing lower than it opened. So that suggested to us that the weather had changed at that particular point in time, and then the next day that confirmed with increasing volume here. Now, the markets tried to recover today, and it's on lower volume, so that's also divergence as well. So we're still in a corrective situation here, corrective into regards of this particular move here, and this has been confirmed when we look at say Microsoft here. Mind you, Microsoft has got a very nice 5-wave structure up through here, so because we're getting 5 waves in the opposite direction, then it's likely that we can still push up from here. We still need to correct its pattern here, and this is the same for Apple as well in terms of the volume. We had increasing volume on a lower bar here as a turn, and then we're seeing the market move up here, but it's moving up on lower volume. Now I'm on TradingView here, and they may add their curb trading or later volume to this as well, so double check this. But if this is moving up here on lower volume, then that's correct. That's a corrective move to the upside, and that's the same with Amazon as well. So, you know, we're seeing that volume sort of confirm where we are within the markets. Another nice 5-wave structure up here as well. Now with the indices, it was a bit difficult to count this up as 5 waves. It's doable, and some of them counted better as corrective waves to the upside. So all of that said, we are looking at the S&P on the weekly chart here now. So there's different ways to look at all of this market. One of the things that I've always sort of stuck to is that if the 4,000 became the tested support with a nice classic trading levels pattern like this, then we can look at moving into that market. Currently we've come up and hit the level, which was actually the 61.8% mark, and now we're pulling back here for this. So we'll see how this plays out. A long way to get from here to over here though, and this move that's moved down here has 61.8%, so it turned at the 61.8%, the same as the NASDAQ. But there are markets that have, I won't look at them today because we've looked at them yesterday and the day before, that have taken this top out here, such as the New York comp and others. So that puts them in a sort of a weird situation. At the same time, we've got markets like the Dow Jones that has actually pulled down quite a long way down here for this. So they're in a sort of a weaker, one of the weakest situations, and they're likely to have a situation where well, there's two situations going on here right now with this. One of them is that we've got a situation where we can count 5 waves up, and as I just mentioned, we can do that with Amazon and Apple and Microsoft and so on. So they can pull up there in 5 waves, and we're looking at a weekly chart here, and they can pull back as an ABC pattern and then move up from that point. So that's one of the things that we're looking at with the S&P. The other thing that we're looking at with the S&P is having wave 1 here with an A and a B and a C wave here for wave 2. So it looks like the Dow Jones can do that. So NASDAQ's possible to do that, but we're still playing it as a wave 1 to the upside and back here. Now, this particular count here looks at this being an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here for wave 4, and that's the low. And and then we can move up from that point. Now, it's also possible that we could look at all of this down here as just an A wave down here, then an ABC for the B wave, and a C wave up here, and then come down as well. There's a whole variety of things that can occur here, and we need to go step by step. There's also the big bullish count that's in the market as well, which a big bearish count, which would look at this as wave 1 here and wave 2 over here, and then it would look at excuse me for that, would look at this as wave 1 here and 2 here, and then looking at this as wave 1 here and wave 2 here as a bearish count, and coming down much deeper on that. But I find that a little bit difficult at this point, because stocks like Microsoft and Amazon and others have got this move up here as a 5-wave structure. So that means that they will be moving further up, and for this to be a big bear pattern down here as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here to the downside, you would need those big tech stocks to run with that. But keep an open mind, as I've sort of been saying, is that we're not in a nice trend that's easy to figure out, and we need to put all the counts on the table, and we need to work through them, and in a logical sort of fashion. And at the end of the day, it really comes down to making money. And how do we make money? Well, we look for a trend, and we do that by looking for safe trade setups. And that's what we'll be talking about today. Now, I don't mind if we're going long or short. That we're traders. We shouldn't care. We shouldn't have a bias, and we should be flexible, and we should be good at both of them. And you can practice if you're not good at them, and you practice with very small amounts of money. Or if you're new, then don't use money. Just keep practicing until you can nail it down a bit better. Anyway, there's a whole variety of counts going on here, but let's just go in and start breaking some of this down. So on the daily chart here for the S&P, we've got our bearish counts on the 50k and the 1k, and our bullish counts on the 20k, 10k and 5k, and we use the 100 tick for as a bit of a workspace to investigate trends, to look inside trends to actually confirm what a particular trend is. Now, this particular move up through here, as I've always said, it doesn't count very well, and you can interpret it in different ways. And one of the ways that we looked at with the S&P 500 here, it had it really quite sort of simple here. We could look at this move up here, because on the futures market it doesn't count very nicely as 5 waves, but on the cash market it does. We can see here that also this here was 5 waves, and this was also 5 waves, and you can see that on the futures market. So the best way to count this is either 1 or A here, then an A, B, C for the B wave, and down for the C wave here as a wave 2 or wave B. And if we take this concept through to the S&P 500, then it kind of makes it a little bit easier. So in this case here, it does appear that we could look at this here as an A wave here, a B wave here, then 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 up here. Now it's a bit messy here, but it does count best like that. So that brings us to another point too here, is that we've been talking about this top here being a variety of things here that we can talk about. But this sort of plays out quite nicely as a wave forward. Currently we've got 3 waves down here. Now this might sound a little bit bit weird here as a wave 4 in a lot of cases, but I must say that we're looking at this being a wave 4 in the DAX, the FTSE, the Australian index, and so on. So it's a possibility. It's kind of at its tether here for that. So I'll need to take that from there basically. So it's it's under the 40 here, closer to the 50 at this point. So it doesn't make a good case, but currently we've got 3 waves down here. So we'll see how that plays out at that particular point. But anyway, I'm just sort of resolving this issue here, because on the S&P in here, especially in the futures, it's really goddamn messy, and you can count it any way that you feel, you know, that's suitable. So yeah, you either know or you don't know, and I'd rather say that I don't know, and that means we need to move to something else that can help confirm certain aspects of the next setup here. So we know that the volume today, as the market has pushed up a little, gone down, tested low and pushed up, but we know it's on lower volume in the push up, so we know it's part of a corrective pattern. So we can see this is not down below the levels just yet. I just put it on 6 here, which is hours in that particular session, in that day, 6.5. So in this case, we've got it as wave 4 here, with wave 1 here, an A and a B and a C wave over here is possible for this as wave 2. Now the Dow Jones will be doing that. The S&P doesn't have to do that. So some will, some won't. The other way to look at this is, instead of that B wave up there, we can look at wave 1 here and then back for wave 2. So we're looking here for an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, and then pushing up at that point. So that's also doable as well. And we need to look at all of these. So that's the bullish count, the bearish count, and we'll look further at the bullish count, but more on an intraday basis. So the bearish count would be this here. We've got two sort of bearish counts actually. One of the bearish counts is that we can look at this here as we've got that big bearish count, which is wave 2 here, and then wave 1 and 2, and then coming down hard and fast here. But I can't see that happening because, as I mentioned, Amazon and others have 5 waves up here, so it makes it a bit difficult. But we can have it as an A wave here, the move up as an A wave here, and then a an A, B, C for the B wave here, and then a C wave up here, and then come down. And that would make this here as an A wave here and a B wave up here. That's possible as well. So we just, you know, just talking about it. It doesn't have to be, you know, set in stone at this particular point. So anyway, the 50k is the bearish counts, and if we were going to short this here, we'd want to short it at wave 2, wouldn't we, here? I believe that we may or may not have that wave 2 in, and we're going to check on that, and that would be the short trade there, so we'll look at that. So we're going to have a look at the bullish count on 20k now for this, and there's 2 counts for this. So this would be wave 1 up here, and we can look at an ABC for wave 2 here. Then we can look from wave 2 here, we can count up here for wave 1, and then looking down here, I haven't tidied this up here from yesterday, so it's got all things written on here, but we don't need a lot of this. But yeah, we can look at it as wave 2 here. So all of this down here is the A wave, and then a B wave up here, and then coming down for a C wave here for wave 2, and then moving up at that point. So I think there's a good case for that. The other count here, which the Dow Jones will probably do, is putting wave 2 down here, and we look for 5 waves coming down in this point here. So that's that sort of bullish count. So we can look at this as wave 1 or wave B up here for this. So we just need to interpret this here, and if we're patient, we get to see more, and then we'll know more, and then we can act accordingly. So I'll just go to the 10k. 10k is where I keep alternative bullish counts. I'll just see what we've got here. Okay, we've got that wave 4 count here. Yeah, I don't know if the European markets and the Asian markets are doing that, but I don't know if it will do it here. So we're just going to go to the 5 ticks. There's nothing to see sort of there. Oh, that's still there as well on that 5 tick one. So what we're going to do now is go to the bearish count here. We're slowly getting into this. So with the bearish counts here, there's 2 bearish counts that we can look at here. One of them, as I mentioned before, is having this here as wave 2 here. So we'll just put in that wave 2 just because we can talk about it as wave 2 here. Then this would be down for a wave 1 at this point here. So the other count here is the A wave, a B wave here, and then 1 and 2 here, and 3, 4, 5 up for the C wave here. So an A, B, and C up here. The other one is having wave 2 here with wave 1 here, and having wave 2 over here. So in fact we can have 2 and 1 in this particular instance here. So then we now need to talk about this little area through here. So there's a couple of ways we need to discuss this. From this last low here, I can count up as 1 and 2 and 3 here, and ABC for 4, and go up for wave 5 here, and that's the top. And in fact that's the top on the cash market as well. This on the cash market is dropped lower here. So we could look at this here as wave, I'm just shooting the breeze, as wave 1 and 2 here, and wave 3 here, and 4 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here for that, and have that 5 waves down here. On the NASDAQ, that's the top here, quite a clear top above this one here. On the cash market as well, it counts up here as 1, 2, and 3 up here really, well as 1, 2, 3 to this point. So on the cash market you need the 4 and the 5 here, and having a truncated 5th wave here. So it's a little bit contentious, this little area through here. So what I was thinking, because the other way to count this is really to have this as wave 1 down here, and having this as wave 2 here, and then this would be wave 3 coming down here. But if this is wave 3 coming down here, we don't want it going to, if this is wave 3 here, we don't really want it going too high here, and it's already at the 50%. It's okay, a wave 4 at 50%, but it would need to definitely come down at this point to finish off here. So we would end up with 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 here, then the ABC pattern here. If this is going to continue going up here further, then you will need to look at this as wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Okay, and then if it's going to go up here further, any really move above where it is at the moment, and then we'll start needing to look at it as an ABC. Now it might even just go up here for the A wave, come back for the B wave, and go up for the C wave here. So in one way or another, you've got to be a little bit careful about what's going on here with this. We're going to have a closer look at this here. We're going to go into the 100 ticks. So I'm just going to remove these for a moment. And at the 100 ticks. So we could use this as the top, or we could use this as the top. If we use this as the top, then we'll need to look at the move down here as wave 1 here and wave 2 here. Yep, I need to put that there. So that's got to be wave 4 at that point, and then wave 5. Now this could look a little bit shorter than that, so we could have that coming down a bit shorter still, and then that would give us the A wave at that point. And then we'll be looking back up for the B wave, of course, and then down for the C wave here for wave 2. So we've got a bit to go. So it'll be interesting to see if we get that move down here. It's not the end of the world. We may get that A and a B and a C up here. And of course, this move here will be in 3 waves here. So in the bigger bearish picture with all of this, this is where one would want to short at this point. So if this comes down to here, makes a new low, right, then look for the ABC pattern here and then short it at that point. Because if this does drop here, then you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And like I say, the NASDAQ is a good weight for having this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, because the NASDAQ has got this as the high. So there's a good case for that, and of course you'd be looking back for the 50-60%. So wherever that wave 5 came into there, then you can start looking at this here, start looking at that zone here, and then when you're looking at this zone here, depending where that low is there, of course, then start looking over here at price. So it could be at the 50 that you might need to be shorting, and that looks pretty good over here for all of that resistance there. So if it traded above the 50 and then found the 50 as the retested resistance, you could look to get a a pattern like this. If it traded above the 50 line here, above the 50, then it came down and started to retest. We've got to wait for the first low to below the level, and then that would be an entry, then the second entry here, the first entry up here rather. So finding that as support or resistance and moving in at that point. Now it may just get you down here as a wave C, and yeah, one of the things you can do, normally wave A is quite sharp, so that's a good thing, and you just take that top and bottom there, and that's where your angle is. So if this is going to come down, you say you're shorting up here and you're coming down here, and you can see this is on a bit more of an angle than this one here, then it's likely to be a wave C. If it's faster than this one, or as fast as this one coming down, then you might be lucky enough to be looking at this as a wave 2 up here. Okay, and then you can hang on to it a bit more, but you'll still need to go through some other things here, and we'll talk about that when we get there. Okay, so that's really that in a nutshell. We'll take that away, we can adjust that later. And this is the SPY, the same thing here as well. This is, you can get 5 waves here. If you've got a keen eye, we'll look at that as wave 1, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third. That's all of the third wave, the fourth wave and the fifth wave. That's a high, that's lower than that one. You could count that as 1 and ABC for 2 here, 3, 4 and 5. I kind of like it, you know. This is starting to look quite impulsive here as well. So once again, you know, if this might do something like this here and move up, then you've got your ABC pattern, right? So then look again at the top and bottom here. Look, you can refine it a bit further at this point, just going for the pocket 65 to 62, and look for that. Look at 395, all of those sort of things. Try to count 5 waves in this last leg here. You know, apply your skill set to everything. So just see which way the cookie crumbles with all of this. Now we're over to the NASDAQ here. It's got a nice clean top here, so we don't really have a problem with this particular top. There's no ifs and buts about it. Now all of this here, we can look at this here as you know, bullish as wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 here and ABC for wave 2 and moving up. Is that true? I don't know. I don't know yet, but that's what we're sort of looking for, and we'll be mindful of that. But there's also the bearish count as well. So the bearish count is quite simply looking at that in a different way here. There's 2 ways to look at this bearish count. One of them is the same as the bullish, where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, and have this up here, and then come down from that point. The other one is that we just come down from where we are here. One of the reasons I don't particularly like this being wave 1 and wave 2 here on the S&P and the NASDAQ is that it's rather a big wave 2 for the previous wave 1 that we had here. But we'll run with it for the time being, and you know, it's not like, you know, on the S&P this is the 4,000, and here the 4,000 is a medium level, and also the 11,500 here is the medium level as well. So they're playing the same game, and from the top to the bottom here it pulled back to the 61.8%, not at the level, it's above that. The 61.8% was there for the S&P, but it's pulled right back into this little pocket here. So yeah, the question is, you know, how do you count that up through here? Like I said, we're looking at, you can have a look at the stocks, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, you know, they've got a very clean, clear, crisp 5 waves up there. So we're looking for an A and a B and a C to come back with all of that, you know. But what about if it is wave 2 up here, and wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and we're going to come down here? Would be look a bit stupid if we missed it. I mean, we look silly enough as it is, but we need to be looking at give gravity to both sides, and like I said, it's really about the trade setup. So let's just go in here and cut to the chase a little bit. I wonder if we can go to the 1000 here first. Okay, so this is cool. So if this top here could be wave 2, it could be wave 1 going to the upside, doesn't really matter. We're just going to work with this here. This is the top. It's really clean. There's no ifs and buts about this. We can look at this in 2 ways here. Once again, we can look at this as down for 1 here, back for 2 here, and then 1, 2 here, and 3, 4, 5 here for the 3rd wave, 4th wave, and 5th wave for 1 here, and A, B, and C back up here for this. That's one way to look at it. On the cash market, it looks a little bit more like this though. So on the futures market, it looks like this. So once again here, if this top gets taken out here, if this top gets taken out, then you're looking at that. Now this could pull back here as you know, because it's possible to count. A bit dodgy in the middle here, but that's a beautiful 5 waves here. A bit dodgy in here, and that's 5 waves here. So yeah, any move above, because that's the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here, so it doesn't need to go above here anymore. Now it might do something like this and push up, or it could just push up from here, and it may not do any of those. It may just push down from here, and that's what we're going to look at now with this. So we're going to go to 100 ticks. So there's the top here, and in this case I'm going to count this down here as wave 1 here and 2 here, because that's what it looks like on the cash market with, you know, on the NDX for this. So as wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the 3rd wave, coming back for the 4th wave. So we don't want the 4th wave really going any further than it is at the moment here. Otherwise, Houston, we've got a problem. So like I said, it's beautiful 5-wave structure here and a correction. It's just a bit sort of dodgy in here. It's dodgy in the way that it doesn't have to be dodgy. I can go wave 1 and 2 here and 1 and 2. So I could go, this one here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So I can connect all of those dots from here to here and have 5 waves. I'd still need to include this one here. So I'd still need another move up here, and then that one would connect with that one, and then we could go up here further, and this one here would connect with this one. But from here to here, that would give me 5 waves up at that particular point in time. So anyway, like I said yesterday, the trick with all of this here at the moment is just patience, because we know that there's going to be more of all of this here. So it doesn't really matter. If I got a classic trading levels pattern here, then I would be looking to go long on top of that level. But if I take that and that leaves us up here for this. So we'll take this here and that 50%, so we'll go to 65 and this here. But the market doesn't really matter, we'll pull it here. But if I got this pattern here at that level, so the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the corrective patterns here, then we'll be looking to go to the upside. So we would need to be bullish here. We have to wait for that first high to come in. Once you've got that high in, then you can start working it from that point. You can go long at that point, you can go long at that point. We can check on this to see what that looks like, because, you know, we're looking for a B wave up here, you know. But what about if I'm totally wrong at this point? So if I'm totally wrong, this is where we need to go long from. You know, we need to go with well, this is my setup, and that's what I would use at that point. It's as simple as that. That's what I would do. So that's that. But like I said, we checked on the volume. The move up here is on lower volume, so it's not bullish at this point. It's just probably short covering. Over to the Russell. So where are we on the daily chart here for the Russell? We've got bullish and bearish counts here. This is the bullish count where we're looking at 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So the same story as an ABC pattern here. We can count this down as 5 waves here. It works okay to do that. Once again, in here, you can interpret this in different ways. So it makes it a little bit sort of tricky. At the end of the day, we could say we could go long above there. That would do the trick. We could also look at the B as an ABC here. Once the B wave comes in, we could also go long above that. But we want to try and build in over here if we're correct on this. So there's work to be done. If you want to short, well then you'll need to short this B wave just in here as once this 5 waves finishes here, then you'll need to look at the B wave there, so we can go in and have a look at all of that. So let's, well, what's the bearish count here first? Let's just check on that a little bit. This is the bearish count here as wave 1 here, 2 here, 1 here, and 2 here, and then continuing to move down here. But like I said before, I don't like this wave 2 on the S&P and all the others, because the size of it compared to this one here just doesn't add up for me, you know. I can't rule it out. It was something that Elliott Wave International had at some point. I don't know if they've still got it, but I wanted to play it out to the end. They've picked the tops of markets many times through the over the, you know, I've been doing this for the early 80s, and I've seen plenty of tops that they've picked, and if they get a small top, they like to brag about it, but they don't say anything about the ones that they miss all the time. But shit, you know, they're going to get one right one day, so we'll need to you know, we can't be, you know, our opinions can get us into trouble, so we need to be mindful of that, and we appreciate any possible counts that there are in the markets. We're all swimming in the same boat. So yeah, anyway, this is where we are at the moment here with all of this. That's the bearish count. Let's go back to the bullish count on the 20-tick chart here, and let's just sort of focus on this. Now, as I mentioned before, all of this down the bottom here can be interpreted in different ways. If you've got a different count, shit, you could be right and I could be wrong easily. You know, it's quite easy. It's a tricky little thing. But I've came to the understanding that we can have it as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. In some other cases, depends on where the low is here and where the low is on the futures market and the cash market and those sort of things. But because this is, to me, a bit iffy, that means that I need to strengthen it up over here. So we were topping and we looked for the turn, we got the turn, we're coming down, and we need to sort of understand it. Now, some markets are weaker than others. The Dow is really weak. I think it's down about here somewhere. So that's likely to come down further. You know, the Dow is likely to be the A wave here, the B wave over here, and the C wave over here for this, you know. Where the European markets are strong and some of these other markets are, you know, in between all of this. So yeah, different things. But anyway, let's just go in and focus on that. So we can go to, I won't go to the 10K. I'll just have a look what's on the 5. Okay, it's the same thing here really. We've got a nice clean top, right? So this is wave 1 here and 2 here. And could I address wave 3 to that point? I'll check on that, but basically we're going to look at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here for the A wave, then the B wave up here, probably hit this supply in here at the 1840 area, and then another 5 waves down at this point. So if in the bearish mode, we really want to short over here, and we'll be looking for, let's just assume that we come down here, right? Probably come down a bit further, whatever. But when this comes up here, it'll be the B wave. Or if it's going to be a wave 2 to short, I mean, B wave's a bit like wave 4. They can be simple, but most of the time they're complex. If it's going to be a wave 2 into shorting this down here, as such, then a wave 2 should be really quite simple. It should just be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. Whoops. A C wave here in 5 waves, so you should be able to count that to the 60, 50, 60% area. And if you've got 5 waves here, then all you need to do, you should be able to find 5 waves in the last wave there as well. But if you can't find it a bit and you're a bit lost in that, you just wait for the drop. in you go, and then you don't chase the drop, you wait for the retest, and the retest will be on lower volume, and then you short it from that point. Because you got 5 here, you may not be able to count them, but the speed of that drop, then that will be your safety there, because when that comes down, you can put the stop here, and then you can halve the stop there. Because I mean, for myself, everybody's a little bit different how they manage things. If I'm risking 1% or less, then my job is to half that, or get it, and then get it to break even. It's never exact, but by doing that, I mean, reducing 1% or something to half, that's a big deal, because if you can get 4 or 5 of those halves in, that really, that's 50% of your losses, really. I mean, it's humongous in a way. Anyway, that's all of that there. Let's just go in and take a closer look at this here and see how this plays out. So maybe 1000 ticks, have I updated that? No, that's the same sort of pattern there. What about 100 ticks? Okay, well, I haven't updated it, but we can do that quickly. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's all there. So we can put wave 1 here, 2 here, 3 here. This will be wave 4. And these can go in here for that. And that wave 5 can go up down here. That will come in there. That will be there. If we got some I've got that counted differently there as well, doesn't matter. I just want to borrow these guys here, those 3, and this A wave here, B wave here, and we can just take that here for the moment. And of course we're on 100 ticks, so that can be wave 2, and just double check that's all good. That's all good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's an A wave, B wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe that's actually done and dusted there, but that shouldn't pull back. Where we are, wave 2. Whoops, daisy, not 2 spot. So yeah, I mean, that's our zone there from that top of that wave 4 to that 38.2%. So if that top of that wave 4 becomes support, then something's wrong here. That leaves us with 3 waves down here, but otherwise, see how that will just fluff around in the next session. Wave 5 could come down to 1780, and then you'll start with across the 18 here. Now it may not go back up to the 61.8%, but the best thing to do is not to trade this and just wait. Just keep working this, and while you're looking at this, have a look at other markets. Have a look at stocks, have a look at any other market, have a look at the FX, have a look at other things, see if you can identify anything. But this is where the short is, over here for that. And the Dow Jones, I won't spend a lot of time on this. You can see that from the top here, the move down here, we can count that as 5 waves. We can look at this as an A and a B. It's pretty complicated in here for this. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So here we've got basically, well, here we've got, well, we can use this. We've got 1 and 2 here, and we've got 3 here, and 4 here, and wave 5 here. So in this case, this is the one to short because it's the weakest. And all you need now is one more move here, because if you get one more move here, there's going to be 5 waves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you can look for the short trade over here. Now it may or may not pull back 50-60% because it's weak. It might want to stick to this, so I don't think it will go very far back, but we'll just count it. So that will be part of Friday, really. Friday will dip and then close up here somewhere, I guess. Yeah, but that's the short trade here. So this would be the best short, I reckon, out of them all, because it's confirming that it's going to come down further here for that. So that's the short trade in this one, I reckon. That's what I'd be looking at. But, you know, if you're trading E-minis, you like E-minis. If you're trading the Russell, you're doing that because the contracts are cheaper, all those sort of things. But, yeah, if you're looking for distance, then this one here is it. And these numbers over here, the 33,500, will be important as support or resistance as that matures, okay? Okay, I'm going to leave it all at that. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Enjoy the weekend. Cheers.